Ricky was dead before he even arrived at Sword Valley anyway. Actually, he already was. I don't know what I'm saying. Hello there, everybody, and welcome to part 48 of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Last time, we made it all the way here to Sword Valley after doing some side things. Today, we shall head out. But before we do, arts. We are long overdue for leveling up these. So, let's level them up then. So, we're going to do Thunder Bullet at least once. We are going to do Heal Round and Heal Blast once. For Ricky, let's actually do this. Let's do Peekaboo, because now we're going to be fighting Mechon for a while, so we're going to do that. Let's level up You Can Do It. Bitey Bitey. Sneaky. Lurgy. And, never mind. Melia, you can level up Summon Flare once. You can also level up Mind Blast 2. Very useful art. And, Spirit Break, why not? As for Dun Dun, we can level up Gale Slash, Worldly Slash, Electric Gutbuster, Soaring Tempest. I guess Steel? No. And I guess Worldly Slash again. Rhine, you can level up Hammer Beat, Bone Upper, War Swing, Lariat, and not enough for that. Cool. Nice, 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 nice. Shield Bash. Finally, for Shulk, I would recommend leveling up Monato's Shield to level 6 at least. And if you're going to be fighting Mechon, now that the anti-Mechon weapons exist, this does decrease the importance of Monato Enchant. But I'm going to level it up anyway. Because, well, spoiler warning, some of my other party members don't have anti-Mechon weapons at all. Well, Charla, Ricky, and Melia are the ones that don't have them. Dumban and Ryan I had to make do. So, you know, that's going to be a thing. And as for skill trees, nothing really has changed. But I'm going to update skill links at a later time. Alright, so if I'm not forgetting anything else, let's go. Alright, this is where it all begins. Or rather, this is where it all began, rather. This is the very place where the battle took place 1 year ago. And it was also the very first place that we have ever took control in. We were Dumban in the tutorial battle with Dixon and Mumkar. And knowing our luck, we're going to pass by that very location very soon. Now, you're probably thinking that in terms of gameplay, Sword Valley is just going to be one long linear hallway, right? Yes, but actually no. Well, I say yes, but actually no, because even though this is technically still sort of like a straight line hallway type of place, it's still very non-linear in design. How they managed to do it, I have absolutely no idea. Monolith are just wizards, man. They're just wizards. And why is that? Well, it might be in the simplest of ways. But we're going to see about that in a little bit. Because right here, you have a gate lock release switch. So, you know, that's cool. You can either go over there, you know, that's all fine. That's all very fine and good and all. Or you can just completely ignore that and go off the beaten path like this. And would you look at that? Here's our very first Mechon that we're going to be encountering here. Very thankfully, they're, like, non-aggressive, so thank God. And because, well, we're, like, way too high-leveled. Got an ether gear right here so that we can get our pretty electric crystals and all that. I really should be more diligent in getting, you know, ether crystal deposits, honestly. I really should. Because they are important, and I did do some gem crafting off screen, too. So, that's all well and good. So again, you could just go the boring way and just go over to the gate locks. Oh, God. Oh, God. M104 Fortress Unit. This is one of the largest enemies in the entire game. If not probably the largest that we've seen so far. And it's a Vision Type 2, so I wouldn't recommend fighting these. You can if you want to, but nah. Basically, the whole point of this whole thing was you can either go the boring way or you can go the fun way. And that's what I really appreciate about the Xenoblade School of Design. You can either go a really boring way, like straight ahead, or you can just go the fun way and just take a non-linear path. And that is the Xenoblade way. Like, it's definitely as simple as it gets. Like, you can either take the upper road right here to get a better view of your surroundings, or you can just keep on going on the bottom route and get completely destroyed by enemies. Again, that's the Xenoblade philosophy at work here. Abyss Heather. Nice. I heard someone jumping right there as they weren't supposed to be jumping, but whatever. So anyway, about Sword Valley itself, I already explained that actually. Oh yeah. One very important thing that you should definitely know. One very important thing. Sword Valley starts the whole thing about, well, let's just say without giving too much away, you're not always going to be coming back to Sword Valley. Or, let me put it in this way. Enjoy Sword Valley while you can, because it's not going to happen soon. But much later on, you won't always have access to this place. So you need to be really diligent in finishing all the quests that are here and getting all the Collectopedia items that you really do need in here. Because otherwise, once that point comes where you won't be able to go to Sword Valley, you know, you're SOL. You're basically SOL. The fifth gate. Would you look at that? Another place where we can just completely ignore the laws of physics and just go an entirely different and separate way. Who would have figured? Offensive Mechon Plus. It's a very offensive Mechon indeed. Like, it's a for real, it is. Purple lamp. Shulk likes purple lamp. Oh geez. Never mind. I thought it was doomed, but, you know, whatever. Okay, so, since we're going to be fighting Mechon here for a little while, you should probably be noted of a fair few amount of things. Ricky can do DPS damage, which is why I'm not really which was why I'm probably not too worried about the fact that, you know, Ricky doesn't really have an anti-Mechon weapon. Although I probably should set up his arts a little bit better so that he can actually, you know, just do it. He can just do ether attacks. But, the problem with anti-Mechon weapons is, Melia herself. Because you can clearly see that, well, with the exception of physical attacks, Melia is strictly an ether user. Yeah, very strictly an ether user. So, she can use up her elementals to just basically deal damage against this thing. Meanwhile, we're not going to be able to do jack against any of these unless it's ether-based attacks. So, unless Ricky can use roly-poly to do anything about that, not really, it's not really going to be that much of an issue. But again, Ricky can do, like, ether attacks with DPS damage, so it's probably going to be better off for me to just actually remove some of these arts. In fact, you can actually have less than 8 arts in your entire palette right here. So, I'm just going to get rid of the arts that really do, like, a whole lot of things. Or rather, do physical damage. And we're going to switch Ricky into the lead because he has a new art. And now we can effectively use said art then. So, Ricky's Peekaboo is really just an art that deals regular damage. But against Mechon, it can cause confuse. So that means they'll be running around all over the place. So, yeah. And would you look at that? Even if Ricky can't really damage Mechon with his regular weapon like that, he can still use ether arts to deal DPS damage. Like the bleed effects, the chill, the poison, they'll still be able to go off. So I wouldn't really call this an absolutely big deal, you know? I mean, I might just actually have an anti-Mechon weapon on Ricky. I did buy it for him after all. But, you know, it's just something, I suppose. Either way, I'm going to have Shulk in the lead. Oh, yeah. And also, a little bit ago, I actually did manage to raise up the affinity of my party members a little bit. You can see the updated things on screen right here. And Ricky and Melly, everyone, at this point, everyone in the party at least has green affinity, so that's pretty damn good. Now, here's actually the thing. Here's actually the thing. For example, I want to get Melia out in the party for this. Because here's a little issue. Oh, Dolgan Outpost. Right here. Secure Dolgan Outpost. This is a timed quest. So by the time that you get access to Sword Valley Cutoff, this quest will expire. So be sure to do this while you can. You gotta defeat Prudent Person. Which is apparently a unique monster. Alright. So, here's the thing about the AI, actually. Here's the thing. So, Melia can damage Mechon equally, right? Or normally, right? Well, Shulk's AI doesn't really do that. So, Shulk's AI is meant to just basically check to see whether you're fighting a Mechon or not. If the AI is fighting a Mechon, then the AI will just absolutely assume that everyone doesn't have a way to damage Mechon normally. So it'll just often do Monado Enchant anyway. So it's just like, why would you even do that? Why would you even do that when you can just take control of Shulk and just do it that way? Here's another gate lock release right here. And speaking of which, generally the AI in Xenoblade is actually pretty damn good in battle. Well, with a few exceptions. One in the case of Sword Valley, as I've said, is Shulk's AI, because Shulk's AI doesn't really check to see whether or not you have an anti-Mechon weapon equipped. So in the case of you know, everybody, if the AI is on Shulk, then you know, Shulk will just do Monado Enchant regardless of whether or not you have an anti-Mechon weapon equipped. As for Ryan, the AI is generally pretty damn good. The AI can use Wild Down whenever the enemy is broken. It can use Magnum Charge and, you know, Sword Drive. It can basically do all that, and Dumband's AI is also pretty damn good for that, too. Probably the only two exceptions would probably be Melia to an extent and Charla. Melia, As for Melia, the AI doesn't really check to see, or rather, the AI doesn't really do the whole keeping the buffs thing with elementals. It just discharges them like nothing else. Ooh. Born in a world of mechs against the zone of the Enders. It totally does that. Melia's AI doesn't really do the whole thing with, you know, keeping the elementals. The AI just discharges elementals willy-nilly. So I wouldn't really call it a recommended usage of the AI in that respect. And as for Sharla, the Sharla's AI doesn't really do that whole thing where it cools down right before the rifle overheats. So that's a bad. That's a very bad. The only thing that could potentially make it a little bit easier for yourself whether or not you're controlling Sharla is the fact that there's a very unique gem for Sharla. And that gem is Dumban. What are you doing up on the wall, buddy? How'd you get up there? How'd you get up there? What are you even doing? How? Charlotte's unique gem is called Heatsink. Heatsink basically reduces the chances of the rifle overheating, meaning that it reduces the amount of talent gauge gain that Sharla gets. So, yeah, not really the best gem for anybody else except for Sharla. So, yeah. You know, don't really have anything else to say other than that. So, yeah. All right, let's get these collectibles here. Got Fire Pepper. Another Fire Pepper. Oh, yeah, and speaking of which, I was actually wrong last time. So, you remember how I said that I didn't actually have the, I didn't actually have the, the video capture of me, getting the 2 ice cabbages in a row? Well, I actually did. Somehow, unconsciously, I totally forgot that, I absolutely totally forgot that I did. So here's 1. And here's 2. I have no idea how I misremembered that, but, well, there it is. There it is, right there. I totally got those ice cabbages in just like one entire go, so yeah, I'm not sure what my memory was doing right there. Okay, so I believe we can go that way if we want to, but where's the fun of that? Where's the fun of that where we could just go this way? Because there are a bunch of scaffoldings everywhere, so there's a lot of places to go in Sword Valley, despite this being a very linear hallway. So, a very linear looking hallway, I should probably say. So, yeah. Besides, the story's telling us to go over this way, so obviously there's a path right there. And, once again, Xenoblade does the usage of color very well right here. Because inside these little pathways right here, you can see these green lights, presumably ether, just glowing right here. And, I'll never not say this. And I'll never, like... I will forever stand by my opinion of this. But the usage of brown... it's not an interesting color. Like, brown is just not an interesting color. Especially for places like, you know, especially for a game, for, like, shooters that overuse that, like, way too much. And, like, Sword Valley definitely does have that, does have the trappings of that. But I still say, like, the visuals, like, more than make up for it. Because think about the games around that time that used brown, like, right? Like, as much as I really love the... as much as I like these games, Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, Metal Gear Solid 4. Like, those games are great and all. And I'm talking about the classic Modern Warfare 2, not the new Modern Warfare 2. Because that game's not even out yet. The classic Modern Warfare 1 and 2, I remember them very clearly using, like, too much brown in my memory. And by the way, yeah, here's another way you can just completely bypass this. Absolutely no problem. Xenoblade, everybody! Yeah, and Metal Gear Solid 4, as much as I really like the gameplay of that and not the story, just the fact that it kind of makes overusage, it definitely overuses brown in, like, a lot of areas, like, you know, the Chapter 1 areas, the Chapter 2, Chapter 3. Definitely not Chapter 4, though, because Chapter 4 is, like, awesome when it calls back to, Shadow Moses. But definitely Chapter 5, though. Again, I remember just brown being the primary color usage right there. So that was, like, really, really unfortunate. And, like, even though we're just playing this at nighttime and it's, like, a blue and everything, and this is, like, blue and everything, really symbolizes the nighttime with those glowing... You know what? I never actually noticed this. Just look at this. Look at this above right there. Like, you can see the ether lines just going, like, right towards the hilt of the sword, and these ether, like, chimneys or whatever, like, going upwards and glowing green? That's really cool. I'm not gonna lie. That's really, really cool. Alright. We got Meaty Carrot and Bud of Eternity. Okay, so let's switch it back to daytime a little bit to prove my point. Like, this definitely does fall into the trappings of, you know, the ground is, like, all brown and everything, so that's a little bit, wrongo, in my opinion. I mean, at least for me. But at least, still, this area still manages to be, like, visually creative. Like, really visually creative. And at the very least, the sky's blue and not brown. And you can basically see, like, all the Bionis up there, too. It's really good, man. It's really good. Like, even though the color scheme, the general color scheme is what we've seen before, it still manages to be, like, visually creative. So so to me, that makes up for the fact that this place is just almost entirely brown, at least in the daytime. And yeah, like Definitive Edition really does manage to bring the art style of this place through. It really does. Like, it's like I've been saying over and over again. Definitive Edition really is the visual upgrade that, you know, Xenoblade 1 really did need. Anyway, you clearly saw before, but definitely the problem with anti-mechon weapons also is the fact that they basically cut your auto attack strength in a very bad way. Like, we're only doing like 1,000 damage to like at least Ryan is only doing like 1,000 damage and, you know, stuff. And if you don't want to use anti-mechon weapons, you're basically going to be over-relying on Shulk's Monado enchant to you know, do that for you. So, again, a very unfortunate thing, but yeah. Anyway, over there is the fourth gate, right? Or is the third gate, sorry. It's the third gate right there. And we need to find the place where we can unlock said gate. And I believe this is another weather situation that we got here. So sometimes in Sword Valley, there's sandstorm weather up here. I don't necessarily remember if this changes anything. I highly doubt it does, but, you know, something will appear on screen if it does. If it doesn't, then, you know, that's fair. Ether storage area. And yeah, again, look at all this stuff, like right here. The ether rivers, the ether waterfalls just flowing in this. It's great. You can swim in that if you want to, by the way. Just keep in mind that the ether will definitely hurt you, so just be mindful of that. Look at this. This is so good. And yeah, another point of praise I have to give Sword Valley for is the music. The music of Sword Valley is like really good. It's definitely not a track that I would listen to on repeat while I'm doing stuff. But it's a really good. But it's a good one. It's a good one. Day and night. Anyway, we're coming up to another outpost right here, and as you can clearly see, we have M71 Mechon as regular enemies now. So, beware of that. So, we already know how to deal with these things. We know how to deal with these guys. And you know what? It's actually a really good thing that Definitive Edition came through with chance arts existing. Because how is anyone supposed to know, like, where this thing is even facing? That way you won't be able to get off your effects of, you know, your effects of, you know, slit edge, backslash, and air slash, and whatever else. Okay. And there it is. Mechon. Wait a minute. What is that? What is that name? Mechon M78 Flex Plus? Those are the tentacles that's left behind. I didn't know that. I legitimately didn't know that that could actually, that the tentacles left behind could actually happen, and they have that name. That's brilliant. They're just flexing. They're just flexing, and that's great. Analda Control Base. And right here we have Secure Analda Control Base. We have to defeat Tranquil Morax. Again, a unique monster. And, ooh, Covert Killer. Yeah, that's an enemy that can, alert enemies to your presence. And, yeah, do you see what I mean right there? See what I mean? That's exactly what I mean. Like, choke using Monado Enchant, even though we already have an anti-Mechon weapon equipped, Choke's AI doesn't really check for anti-Mechon weapons. It just checks to see whether you're fighting a Mechon or not. And also, unfortunately, Covert Killers literally alerted to my presence, so unfortunately, yeah, that's really unfortunate. Okay, so we got a chain attack going at least, so I hope I can get more elementals up. I mean, I already have 2 summoned bolts, so I'm good. Melia learned a new art. Okay, so we're going to show that off next fight. Okay. Hello. Why you coward. Okay. You know what? That's in sometimes happen. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Wait, where's the new art? Where is it? Healing gift, power effect. Oh wait, is it power effect? Because I don't really think we have that yet. Okay. Okay. Power effect. An aura that excites elementals, boosting the range of their effects by 2. So if you're a big user of elementals, then you can definitely make use of this one. Okay, so let's try this again. Let's get the elementals out here. Let's get we can forget Burst End for right now. Let's just do that. And I'm gonna have to wait a little bit before we can target this thing. There we go. All right. So let's get him. Get physical protect and agility. All right, let's do it. So with power effect, this enlarges the radius of summon buffs by 2. So, as long as this aura is up, you'll definitely be able to make usage out of this. Out of the buffs. Okay. So, I'm definitely not making the smartest move. But, Tranquil Morax has a sleep spike. So, that's unfortunate, but whatever. It's all good. Because we can just keep on encouraging, or just waking up Shulk to raise affinity, I guess. Or anybody, really. Okay. Yeah, come on. Get up there. See, we're gaining affinity with Melia and Shulk already. Yeah, let's go. Alright, so let's do this again. Let's do it again. Power effect isn't really an aura that I would use again. Not really doing that. Because if we're just fighting one enemy, then, you know, we don't really need it. But otherwise, you know, could be useful if you wanted to. Could be useful, but again, not an art that I would use.
Victory is sweet as when you can share it.
All right, got that done. We got blade boots and blade leggings. Not bad at all. Okay. Let's release the lock on the 4th gate right there. Also, I don't actually believe that, I actually don't believe that this is no. It's not a landmark. I believe the outposts so far have been the only landmarks here. Which, why wouldn't there be like a landmark at the gate? I really don't understand that. Okay. Crimson gear. Do we actually have, we have all but one on the Collectopedia that we need to get. And speaking of that, yeah. Once again, you're not going to be always coming back to Sword Valley. Or rather, you can't always go back. So, again, very important that you get all the quests done, all the locations discovered, all the landmarks discovered, all the secret areas discovered, and whatever else discovered. And also get the Collectopedia done. So, otherwise, you won't be able to go back ever. Like, ever, ever, ever. Alright, so let's go over here because we're just trying to be very diligent in getting all of our items. Oh, you know what? It's actually really cool that the sunset is actually happening because now we can actually see a glow of red with the sunset. It's really great. That's great. I just love sunset weather in video games. I have no idea why that is, but I just really like it a lot. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Anyway, yeah, would you look at that? We already have like a shortcut. Like effectively a shortcut back to, you know, where we were with that M104 Fortress unit right there. See? Sword Valley is, you know, a linear area, except it really isn't. That's what makes Xenoblade's strength. It can find ways to surprise you. It can find a lot of ways to surprise you. Alright, so let's go over here. And we shall... I'm pretty sure... Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Okay. So let's get this 3rd gate access opened up. And 3rd gate front line. This is going to be the last thing that we're going to be doing. So we need to defeat reinforcement M104 near gate 3. So, ugh. Ugh, gross. That's absolutely disgusting. And I think worst thing still is the fact that I think one of my least favorite UMs or unique monsters is right around the corner. Actually, no, it isn't. Thank God. Okay. Or maybe it is. No, it isn't. Okay, thank God. Thank God it's not that. Bitter melon. Okay. I'm definitely going to be shulk for this. I'm not entirely sure if you can topple it or not. But gosh diddly darn it, we're going to try anyway. So, we're coming up against a really powerful enemy here. Despite... We're going to be coming up across a really powerful enemy here. Because this is the M104 Fortress unit. So, these things are really, really big. They're basically outright immune to break. So, you can't really topple them at all. So, you're just going to have to deal as much damage as you possibly can. Alright, let's do it. Let's get Lariat. Gale Slash. Ooh, okay. Backslash. And that's it. Because, of course. Now, this Fortress unit isn't really all that bad. But it's, like, really, really big. So, oh. What? Titan Laser 7. That's the talent art, and it's a really powerful one. I mean, very thankfully, we got that skill that allows us to extend visions by a whole lot. Targets enemies in a straight line, so this is going to be unfortunate. Oh, God. Okay, what? Black matter. We don't have any healing, so that's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. We were so close. Okay, we're gonna just spam arts. Spam arts. Yeah! Oh my God. Oh yeah, baby. That's so good. It feels so good killing these things. It really feels so good. And we just completely ignored that. Absolutely no problem. Oh. Fudge! That's what I was afraid of. Mischievous Nibirius. That's an M104 unique monster? No. No! We're gonna deal with that when we're truly ready. So, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Can I go up here, please? I can't go up there. So, yeah, no, we're not doing that. Okay. So, one last note. Very thankfully, actually, Prudent Person actually does remind me. The fact that Prudent Person exists and it has a topple spike or rather, yeah, a spike when toppled that causes sleep. That's actually pretty damn important. Because, if you're asleep and you wake up your party members, you gain affinity. And you can just keep on doing that over and over and over again until you get the proper affinity that you want. So, that can be good. That can be good for you. Right. So, with that, we're all done. Next time on Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, we're going to explore a little bit more around Sword Valley as we keep on heading towards the hilt. Things are looking much, much more like things are coming together. See you guys on next time. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.